Welcome, viewers and my dear listeners. To reach to a destination by a shortcut route, one may has to face the rough roads and hence the accidents or the mishaps may occur at any moment. So, to follow the shortcut route, one must practice to drive the long journey through the smooth roads so that he or she becomes expert to cross the rough roads and to reach the destination by the shortcut route. Today, our discussion is the rectification of the error. We shall discuss what is the rectification of error, why the rectification errors are necessary, and what are the different types of the errors that may occur, and how do we rectify those errors. Normally, during the recording of the transactions in the books of the accounts, the mistakes which occur, we have to correct them. This correction procedure or these correction entries are actually called the rectification of errors. These rectification of errors are also called the correction entries. The rectification of errors journal entries or the journal entries for the purpose of the rectifications of the errors are usually passed through books of accounts which is called the journal proper. We shall discuss and have a detailed video on the journal proper and its uses. For the time being, we should understand that journal proper is one of the books of accounts which is used to record the rectification entries. Now question arises, why do we need to rectify the errors? We can keep the errors in the books of accounts and finish the recording. There are major two disadvantages for not rectifying the errors in the books of accounts during the process of recording them from the transaction. First is, if the error is actually connected or involved with the trial balance, then due to the error, the trial balance debit side and credit side total amount will not tally. And if the trial balance total does not tally, then we cannot prepare the final accounts, or the process of the finalizations of the accounts cannot be started. That is why it is necessary to rectify the errors or to pass the correction entries. Secondly, there may be other errors which may not affect the trial balance and the trial balance total will agree. Still, the errors may remain in the books of the accounts. In such a situation, the rectification of the errors are necessary because the object of the preparations of the books of accounts and the finalizations of the accounts is that we must show the true and fair state of affairs of a business through the proper recording of the transaction in the books of accounts. So that is why, to show or to expose the true and fair view of the state of affairs of a business, the accounting records must be free from errors. Now we are starting the rectifications of the errors core position. I want to say that these rectification of errors are very easy if we understand it step by step, and it may be, on the other words, may be very complex if we do not understand it properly. Normally, when the trial balance debit side and credit side total does not agree, we say that there may be some mistakes in posting of the transactions in the ledger accounts or in the primary books of entry or the original books of the entry. The usual practice is that when the trial balance does not agree, the difference of the amount between the debit side and the credit side are covered by an account which is called the suspense account. And later on, when the mistakes are detected or located, the necessary rectification entries are passed by debiting or crediting the particular account, and as well as by debiting and crediting the suspense account. When all the mistakes are detected or located, normally the suspense account's balance abolished. This happens in the case of the one-sided error. Now I am coming to the core position of the rectification of entries, and we must remember these things and listen very carefully. For the purpose of the rectification of errors, there may be two types of the errors, major. One is the one-sided error, another is the two-sided error. The errors which are connected with the trial balance as well as connected with the suspense account, we must remember that it is an one-sided error and the suspense account must be used. It should be understood very carefully. For example, sales day book has been overcast by rupees 5,000. It is one-sided error. When the sales day book is overcast, in my previous video, just few minutes ago, I told you, sales account is a credit balance. Means we used to write the sales account in the credit side of the trial balance, point number 1. And sales account has a credit balance. By this statement, we wanted to mean the ledger of the sales account will show always a greater amount in the credit side. That is, sales account will show greater amount in the credit side rather than the debit side. That is why we call that sales account has a credit balance. Now, when the sales account has been overcast, we have to reduce it. As the sales account has a credit balance, if we want to increase the sales account, we have to credit more. And if we want to decrease the sales account, we have to debit it. That is why the rectification entry for this wrong transaction or wrong recording will be sales account will be debited 5,000 and suspense account will be credited by the 5,000 because we wanted to reduce the sales account. That is why sales account has been debited as because the sales account originally has a credit balance. This has gone the one-sided error. In the case of the two-sided error, what happens? Normally, the wrong account is either debited or credited, and in the similar fashion, the correct account is also either debited or the credited depending on the debit and credit of the wrong account. This is the core position. In the next video, we shall discuss what are the different types of errors which may occur in the accounting procedure and how we can rectify the individual type of the errors from the given nature of the errors. That will be one-sided discussion. And another side of discussion will be based on the stages of the preparation or stages of finalizations of the accounts. Normally, the rectification of errors, we can discuss it in the two ways. One based on the nature of the errors and another based on the process or steps towards the finalizations of the account. I am ending this video with the proverb that to climb steep hills requires slow pace at first. Thank you.